Alright guys, so how's it going today? So today's turned into a day of getting shit done, and yeah, so I got the tractor here and I got the hay rake here. As you can tell, it's missing a tire. Well, I used the rake a little bit yesterday because they mowed along the bridge there again. They did that again, but I went down there and the hay was just a little bit too short and it just wasn't worth raking, so I quit halfway through it. But I noticed that this tire was flat and then that tire was going flat, but this tire looks better, so I don't know if it's still holding air. Oh yeah, it's still holding air. Well, this tire was low on air and then this one was flat, so I put air in the tires, and I knew that this tire was extremely bad, but I did it anyway. I ended up putting air in it. Well, come to find out, this tire did have a tube in it. So what ended up happening, because here's the old tire. This is the tire that's, obviously that's beyond rotted. You can see right through it. You're not supposed to be able to, you're not supposed to be able to see inside your tire like that. And I don't know how goddamn old this tire is, but it's been on the rake, well over 30 years, because it sat for 30 years. But I'm not sure how long it was on there when the rake was actually being used. But if this damn wheel loader will go by. There they go. So what ended up happening is I put air in the tire, because I knew it was a tube. There's the tube, but I guess the tube was sticking out, and I didn't even see it. I didn't even see that the tube was actually popping out because of of me putting more air in it. But then I started hearing this funny noise, like the tire was shifting. I was like, oh great, is this thing gonna blow up? Well, this side of the tire was facing in towards the rake, so I looked behind it. I was like, oh god, there's a big bubble on the back. So the tube was popping out and it was trying to expand, but I guess, I don't know, maybe it was just too much pressure for I didn't put that much air in it though, but something must have cut the tube. It's probably on the other side now. You're not going to see it anyway, it doesn't really matter, but it cut the tube and then boom. So I heard a nice big explosion, and this side of the rake dropped down. It's like, well, that's the end of that tire. I knew that tire was done. This tire is actually okay, so I could probably cruise on with that one for a few more years. And it seems to be holding air, so I guess I'm going to run with it. But this one was definitely not going to hold air. And I didn't feel very safe anyway, because you know what? You put air in those tubes and then you have this exposed. You're going to have your tube exposed, and if you run over a stick or a sharp rock, or something, that's going to pop that tube. So I got a brand new tire for the rake. Now he didn't have, I'm going to undo this. He didn't have that exact same size, and he says this was going to be the closest tire that was going to match the other side. Well, it being a rake, doesn't have to be exact. I mean, I can adjust the rake. If the rake is a little bit off, a little tilty, I can just, adjust that for raking. I can adjust it there. But this is actually a trailer tire, I guess. He said this would be cheaper than like an actual working tire, I guess, like whatever was originally on here. Now I believe back in the day they had tires on these things that were almost like tractor tires. They had lugs on them. That was just to give you traction, I guess, when you were flipping hay in kind of wet conditions. You probably would want that, but since we do most of our flipping hay and when the ground's fairly dry, the tire will be better. Actually, I think this tire is going to be better than this tire, because for one, there's not like actually any tread on this. Like, it's just kind of smooth. Yeah, it's got these ribs here, but those ribs are smooth, and that's not really going to do anything. Now, a tire like that, where it's got actual lugs on it, because this is actually supposed to be a trailer tire, you know, for like a trailer. He said that would be okay, and he said that would work, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine with it. I wanted to go the cheapest route possible, and he says that I would have to, if I wanted an actual tire that was meant for that kind of job, or you know, something a little heavier. He says I would have to pay. You know, they're very expensive. So I figured, well, for being a hay rake, it doesn't need anything special. But I believe this is a brand new tire. Yeah, looks fairly brand new. It's still, yeah, it's got nipples and stuff on it. It looks like it's been kind of. Well, that's probably just from me. Yeah, that's just from me. But yeah. I don't think he had any used ones. He didn't have any tires. I guess that would fit that. So, well, this was the closest tire that obviously would fit. Now, this will be a slightly different size, I guess, than apparently that. But, again, if I could, I probably could just adjust PSI, you know, to kind of get it to sit level. And then, you know, I can also adjust the rake. There's a lot of adjustment in the rake. So if one side's a little bit lower than the other, then I can just, you know, just pick up one side and lower the other, and it'll just be like it was level. So it'll have to do. And went and got some gas and stuff too. I figured I might as well, since I was heading out that way. I just cruised out on Big Red because I wanted to get it done. It looks like more freaking rain's coming. And I also wanted to service the rake, grease it up, because I want to be ready ahead of time, so I'm not, you know, dicking around. Of course, I'm dicking around making a video now, but all that I'm going to do is pretty much just service this thing, grease everything again, probably put some grease in the gearbox, even though it's not supposed to have grease. It's supposed to have oil. I think it's supposed to be 80 weight oil, but I don't have any oil. I didn't get any oil. Grease does just fine, so I'm probably just going to take this little, I think I should be able to do that with this cap. Take this out, and then I'll just pump some grease down into it. Grease everything again, and then it does work. Like I said, I've already tested it again. The other thing it's going to need some new teeth, but I didn't order any of those either, so I don't think it needs very many. I could get a few. I see one that's already missing now. Should be, I think, yeah. There's one missing there, and I think there was one or two more that were somewhere else that was missing too. I don't really know, but I ain't gonna need that many teeth, really. So there was a couple places that sold them, but the one place didn't sell this plate. There's a little plate right here, and I need that plate because the other one where it's missing, yeah, it doesn't have the plate. So yeah, I guess I'm missing a tooth right here too. Looks like there's supposed to be two in a row. So yeah, so I do have to replace some teeth, but that won't be a huge deal. But could probably order maybe 4 or 5 for now, plus the plates, and then I think we should be good again then, at least for now, until I decide I want to do something else with the rake. But it's really all it needs. It's not gonna get a paint job or anything from me. Surprisingly, this rake's in fair condition. compared to some other ones I've seen that just were completely rusted right out, or you know, just didn't have any paint, period. But grease everything, put the tire back on, and surprisingly I did this by myself. And yes, I am using the not approved jack stand. That one's been discontinued, and there's actually a recall on them. So yeah, I'm using an unsafe tool, but I don't have any other jack stands right now. And the problem, I got a letter from Harbor Freights saying why that jack stand is no longer safe. They found out that when you had a load on it and the load was shifting, I guess they had a habit of releasing it and the whole thing would come down on you. So I'm trying to be very careful and not, you know, letting this thing move too much. That tire really should stop a lot of the movement, and it's hooked to the tractor, so it's not going to go too far away. But it's still the point that, you know, it's not a safe tool to be using anymore. But I'm not going to. Harbor Freight says to send back, or not send back, but you're supposed to go to your nearest freaking Harbor Freight store, and they'll give you, I guess, like a coupon for the price of those. So I guess you can go buy a new one or something, new set or something. But the nearest Harbor Freight store is over an hour away, and I may not get to be able to do that for at least another couple of months. And I don't know if that recall thing will be valid by then. I don't know if those things ever expire, but if it's, I guess I could email them or call them or something and see what they say. But I mean, yeah, I don't want to keep something that's defective, but I don't have the option right now of going and getting new ones. So I don't know. For right now, we'll just deal with it the way it is, and then we'll worry about that later on. So sounds like my sisters are going to come up for a pretty good visit here in the next couple of months. So maybe I'll talk to her about it and see if at that time she'd be willing to run me up to the cities, so then I can get a refund on my jack stands or get new ones. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. Look at that, you can still just barely see. I just noticed that. You ain't going to be able to see it, but the light's just hitting it just right. I can almost just make out the 56 written on the rake. Can you see it? And I think right next to it says, I don't know what that's supposed to be, New Holland, NH. Yeah, NH, and then 56. Whew. I don't know if that's, I think the other side just said New Holland, so I don't know why New Holland did such a stupid, yeah, and on this side it just says New Holland. So on one side of the rake they put New Holland, and on the other side they put 56. So that, you know, that's the number of the machine. I would have just done it in New Holland and then 56, but I guess they got these adjustment holes so you can adjust everything. So, and I think that's to, I don't know if that's so you can adjust the angle of this to be less severe, but I'm not going to mess with that. I like it the way it is. I did find out that there is supposed to be a safety chain here for the jack stand. So, but the jack stand disappeared, or the chain disappeared long ago. So, you know, I'm just using the old frickin' 1920s baling twine. I honestly do not know how old this twine is, because that's what's in the grain truck. So I had a piece on there, but I think the cows ate it, so I had to get a new string. But yeah. So I suppose they're going to do some road work. I guess some road work's in order, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I used it a little bit earlier, and just to try to rake up that little bit of hay that was there. But then, like I said, it turned out to not be worth it. So I quit. Plus, last night there was getting to be one hell of a storm rolling by, but it looked like it was heading for us, but then it missed us last minute. So I pushed hard, getting this thing attached to the tractor. I had to move that little trailer that I have over at the farm too, that hook behind this thing. I had to move that to that international trailer. I had to move that. So I went and hooked up into this. Of course, it was a fight because in order to make this jack stand or the hitch line up with the tractor, you have to have a board under the jack stand to give it that extra ½ inch or inch or whatever the hell it is that you need. So, but the cows kept pushing it off the damn block all the time because they used it as a freaking scratching post, which annoys the hell out of me. So, of course, now since we're getting close to the summertime, this thing's probably just going to stay up in the yard. It might even just stay hooked to the tractor until we're done. I don't know. I mean, we still got quite a ways yet to go, but, you know, why unhook it when, you know, if I need it, then I'll just unhook it then. But if I don't need the tractor for anything, I'll just leave the damn thing hooked up and save me the trouble of unhooking everything. So, but yeah, so got a new tire, and this is a tubeless tire this time. And no clue what the PSI is in this, because they do what they want to do. But yeah, this is a slightly different tire, different size tire. Honestly, probably not that you're really going to be able to tell the difference. I don't really think there's going to be, well, might be a wee bit bigger, I don't know, or a wee bit smaller. It's pretty much either one. So, but yeah, that tire completely junk. So I got a brand new tire put on. And I thought I was going to have to use the air tool. Still got all my air and everything hooked up. Well, I used the air to put the air up the tires, but I was thinking I'd have to use the impact gun to get them off, because those lug or the nuts are a little bit bigger than I was thinking. But then, come to find out, I can use my old trusty torque wrench. I guess it's reversible, and it takes a 13/16 socket to get them nuts off. So I guess I'll be using the same thing to torque them. I'm going to have to look in the book, I guess, to see what I should actually torque them to, because I might have the right torque wrench here to do that. I don't know. So I have one that does inch pounds, and then I have another one that does foot pounds, but the foot pounds ain't very big. Well, I think it's up to like 100 something, but I want to try and see. I'm just going to get them on there hand tight for now. I'll get them a little bit tight, just so in case something does go wrong, at least the tire won't come flying off. But then I could just readjust everything; it won't be an issue. But yeah, so we got a brand new tire. And honestly, this is actually a pretty decent tire. It's actually pretty nice. Like I said, this apparently is for a trailer. Like, I don't know what size trailer, but obviously something fairly small. But it's it'll be more than enough to do what I gotta do. I don't need nothing fancy, because this is not a fancy rake. And now, if this rake had a brand new paint job, then I probably would have wanted matching tires for the other one if I would have taken them both. But the other ones would be more of a pain, because you got the frickin' drive shafts on this side. You see, you'd have to pretty much disconnect all that and to get that tire off. So, but yeah, all that's left to do now is just to put that tire back on. And yeah, and then grease it. Put some grease through everything, and hopefully the tire fits. Since that tire's a little higher up now, I don't know if my jack will go much. But I should go a little bit higher than that. But but then the bottle jack will be supporting it, which is not safe either because it's unfortunately it's on a round aluminum part. So I think that's aluminum. So right now all the weight's on the jack stand. So, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with this tire. She's old, but she looks like she's pretty decent. I could probably get another 10 years out of that tire as long as the sun doesn't bake them too hard. But whatever. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. Just wanted to show you what's going on here. Oh, I forgot they do that. Everything seems pretty decent yet. So I guess I'll have to grease everything, and we should be good. Apparently you can still get the parts for that too. A few companies sell them parts too, but I know one YouTuber said he was having a hard time finding parts because he has a 256 rake, and he said he had a hard time finding parts for that. So I don't know, but his is slightly different than mine. His is, I think it was a 258 or a 256, where mine is just a 56. So mine's a little more, and his actually had a front steerable drawbar, and it had tires on the front, whereas she has mine, it doesn't, which is fine. And I think that rake was slightly bigger. I don't know how big this rake is, but again, I can look in the book, it would say, but it's big enough for what we have to do. So, but anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.